In this session, together, let's discover the 4 levels of consumers. What are they? Why are they so important? How do clients get from one level to the next? How do they affect our marketing? How do they affect the way we segment our client base? How do they help us grow our recurring revenue? How do they help us build value and equity into our business? Just by these questions alone, we can begin to see the importance and relevance of the 4 levels of consumers. LIMRA tells us that the insurance industry has a 13% 4-year retention of new representatives. Why so low, you may ask? Well, the very basic answer is a lack of income for the new representatives. Wouldn't you agree that in the world of sales, that income is determined by how many potential clients a representative can get in front of on a regularly continuous basis? For people don't fail out of our business for a lack of understanding how reverse split dollar works. They fail simply because they cannot get in front of enough qualified people on a regular basis. Now, if we combine that bit of information with the fact that the #1 complaint against representatives in the financial service industry, that's banks, insurance companies, and wirehouses, year in and year out, continues to be the fact that once a client makes a purchase, they rarely, if ever, see or hear from that representative again. So, marketing breaks down into 3 simple B's: beginning new relationships, building on relationships, and being viewed as a resource. Marketing, as well as the development and continuous growth of one's client base, are the 2 optimum factors in predicting and measuring one's chances for success or one's level of success. The more opportunities that one has, the better chances for success, right? And opportunities are in direct proportion to the level and number of relationships that a representative has developed. The 4 levels of a consumer demonstrates and explains the different levels of relationships that a representative has with someone who has purchased a product or service from them. By not only understanding these levels, but by focusing on moving the consumer relationship to even higher standards and levels, your opportunity for success will become a reality. So, what are the 4 levels of consumers? Level 1 is the buyer. By definition, a buyer is an individual who has simply just purchased a product from you. Unfortunately, that's the only level that many representatives ever get to. Or, just as sad is the fact that even though some agents or representatives survive for years in our industry, their income and their business do not grow proportionately with time. This reality relates back to that LIMRA study of what consumers complain about most: a lack of staying in touch and in building long-term relationships. Level 2 is that of a customer. A customer is a consumer who sees an individual or a business as a source to handle a particular need or desire. There are many today who are customers of Apple. When they think of a phone, computer, or pad, they automatically think of Apple. In order to get a consumer from level 1, the buyer, to level 2, the customer, we have to get the consumers to think of us when they think about insurance and/or investments. The only way to do that is by following the 3 C's of marketing: constant client contact. In order to accomplish this, LIMRA research explains that we must have 24 contacts with a consumer every year to move a buyer to the level of a customer. Additionally, to first establish a brand or name with a consumer, there must be a minimum of 12 contacts for a new prospect. That includes using social media, website resources for them, birthday cards, holiday cards, newsletters, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual reviews and phone calls, getting in front of the consumer as often as you can. Remember, the phone is a marketing tool. It should only be used for setting or confirming appointments. Never use it to address concerns or to answer questions early on in your career. Use any reason to be in front of your prospect or consumer. You are still in the relationship building phase. Now, this rule does change over the years as you have a bigger, more developed client base. In the early years, your goal is to establish as many buyers as you can and then move them to the customer level as quickly as possible. Al Granum, the father of the one-card system, says that in order for an agent to become bulletproof from the competition, in other words, to keep the competition out, they must sell a minimum of 3 separate products to an individual consumer. And you do this by following the 3 C's of marketing: constant client contact. Now, the third level is that of a client. A client is someone who seeks advice. We are clients of our doctors, our attorneys, and our accountants. Now, these professionals do not sell a product, they sell advice. As your consumers begin to seek your advice on insurance, they will naturally begin to seek your advice on other products and services that you offer, such as investments, possibly money management, and so on. They will seek you out and seek your counsel and advice as they move to the third level. They see you as a resource for them, their families, and their businesses. Now, this just didn't happen. It came from all of your marketing activities of changing them from a buyer to a customer with your constant client contact, the 24 touches each year. Once they understand your value proposition, your business model, your commitment to service and support to them, you are a resource they can count on. Finally, the fourth level is that of an advocate. An advocate is someone who will promote you and your services to the community at large without your asking them to do so. Now, anyone can be an advocate for anything. It's the world's best form of advertising and marketing. We have all been an advocate for a restaurant due to the quality and consistency of the food and their service. Developing your customer and clients into becoming advocates for you means that they believe in you. They have normally given your business unsolicited referrals and recommendations and have normally received positive feedback on those referrals. Nothing can help build a successful practice more than to have a number of advocates promoting your services. Well, there you have it, the 4 levels of consumers: the buyers, the customers, the clients, and finally, the advocates. By constantly focusing in on the 3 B's and the 3 C's of marketing, you will quickly see your buyers move up the different levels of a consumer. Additionally, it will turn new names into quality prospects and finally into quality consumers. Building relationships takes time, even with the people you may already know. Follow the process and use your firm's marketing resources. It will turn your potential into a successful reality. Thank you for watching.